Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all just not ready. You are not ready for this. I ain't gonna even take no time. Welcome everybody to the Big Time Show. Those that are following Boss Cowboy, those that are following Law Nation Sports. Welcome to the Big Time Show on tonight. This is a major night. Not even go through preliminaries or nothing else. We got one of the greatest coaches in the game today. My friend, my brother, who I have been associated with since I have been at least, I mean, it got to be at least for me, 8 years old. And he was 6 years old. We played football together in elementary. We played football together in high school together at Kirby High School here in Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, now you know him as one of the great coaches in the land. He's coached at Texas Tech. He has coached at the University of Oklahoma, the assistant head coach there. He is now the assistant head coach now at the University of Southern Cal, the USC Trojans. This is a bad boy. It ain't no doubt about it. This is head coach Dennis Simmons, who has graced us with his presence tonight. Hello, coach. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Man, look, I'm good because you keep helping your boy out. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave me in the cold. I like that, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate you hanging with me. And Lord have mercy. Look who I got with me tonight. Come on now. Good Lord. I mean, it don't get no better than this. I mean, I have two, no doubt, of the greatest podcasters, cowboy podcasters, no doubt, in this country, and Boss Cowboy Sport, and of course, Law Nations. Boss, what's up, man? What's going on, man?
What's up? I just wanted to say real quick, Coach, you are the first coach in history with a diamond necklace. I want to give you a hand. For real, when I saw your press conference, I said, wait a minute. Wait, is that, can I come off the top turnbuckle though and get to the nitty gritty?
Yeah.
So we know you coach CeeDee Lamb. All right. Yeah. So with you coaching CeeDee Lamb, I'm going to just go and come on with it. He was the number 2 under you, and he made that transition to the number 1 after Hollywood Brown left. You was the man that helped him get through that transition. How did you prepare him for that moment?
Well, I mean, I think he was always wanting that moment. So it really wasn't conversations and preparing him to get there. He always saw himself as being that guy. And I think that transition is repeating itself now that he's in the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, I also have with me the one and only. Y'all know who he is. I mean, y'all know him. I ain't got to introduce him. the one and only Law Nation. Come on, man. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, I appreciate you guys for having me on this platform. Shout out to you, big time, and also shout out to Boss Cowboy. But
Yo,
last but not least, man, Coach Simmons, man, it's a beautiful moment for me to be here talking to you about these wide receivers that play on the
yeah,
biggest of the brightest stage.
right.
CeeDee Lamb playing with that number 88 on his chest, and
Man,
hey, this is by far a contract year. Believe
huh.
it or not. So a lot of chips are pushed to the middle of the table, and I'm gonna get right to the point. Is CeeDee Lamb, as my guy Michael Irvin would say, is he a number one wide receiver?
I mean, of course, if you're asking me, I'm biased, and in my opinion, he is. And I think through time, throughout this season, that it will unveil itself. I mean, there's a lot of things that that kid is capable of doing that. He's shown flashes of it and sparks of it, but I think now, there's no reason why he can't show you the full package.
Yes,
Wow.
indeed. That's what I wanted to hear right
Co-
there.
Coach, let
Yes,
me
indeed.
let me. I know we got plenty of follow up questions, but we just gonna hang with you.
Plenty.
But I
Plenty.
already know, Coach. I
Let's
didn't mean
go.
to jump. Look. I'm coming to CD, but let me talk to you because I know you, and I know you've been incredibly busy. Let's pull back just a minute, just with me here. Talk to me, Coach, about the transition from a powerhouse like Oklahoma, where you coach, to now moving to USC. I'm interested in see, has it been difficult considering you guys were recruiting for Oklahoma?
Hmm.
Now you move to total different state. And now I mean I'm just trying to figure out if you can tell me, are y'all concentrating on the West Coast as far as recruiting, or some of your ties from what you were doing in Oklahoma, is that transferring over to Oklahoma? I know the quarterback switched to USC. Is it a difficult transition?
Well, I think it was a difficult transition because it was one that was unexpected. So I mean, once everybody kind of got over the shock value, okay, this is what we're doing. It was work as usual. Here, of course, if there's a kid out on the west, we want to try to sew up and bring that talent and keep it out west. But our philosophy as far as just going out and trying to find the best players that we can find and evaluate to fit in what we do and want to win and have the right mentality. I mean, we'll go anywhere to get those guys. And that was something that we did at Oklahoma. And, quite frankly, it's not going to change by us being here at USC.
One thing before the boss get again, let me tell y'all about this guy because he too modest for me. This guy here is a dog. Wait a minute. This guy coached Michael Crabtree.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Dallas
He's a
Carter.
Biletnikoff Award winner. Come on now. He is coached. Oh my God, he's coached, of course, Hollywood Brown.
Oh yeah.
And these are just some of the names you guys know. The guy of the Ravens, but now he's with the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, he's had CeeDee Lamb. This guy's coached All Americans. I mean, numerous All Americans. He had a hand in Mark Andrews, the tight end from Oklahoma, who's now considered one of the greatest tight ends in the game today. This man who's trying to be modest and all that kind of stuff, but I get it. I speak up for you, brother. I speak up for you.
What
This
about
dude
Drake London? Did also he coached Drake London?
No,
No.
I did not have
You,
Drake,
Yeah.
man.
you didn't
Drake
have
was
Drake.
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
got to
get Drake.
replace Drake London. I was going to talk about that. Yeah, we got to talk about replacing Drake London.
Wow.
Go ahead, boss. This
But
guy's a
yeah,
bad
I
dude,
just want
man.
to kind of dig into the CD Lamb just stuff real quick and then ask him about some principles and offensive coaching principles.
Go ahead.
But just kind of knowing what the nation want to hear, especially on my channel, it's been some doubts just being straight up coach on CD Lamb, not by a lot, but by some, right? So, but like obviously, my instincts say that he wants it. I can see how he works. I can see how he puts on weight in the off season. He just seemed like a workhorse type of guy. But you worked with him close up. So what I know the people on our channels want to know is what is the real mentality up close of CeeDee Lamb, especially because you worked with him before he was the star that he is now, but you saw him as a pup to now he's a man. What is the real raw truth about his mentality?
Well, I mean, I guess the quickest way to kind of answer your question, and when CD came in, CD was 178 pounds and probably ran anywhere between the 4.7, 4.6 range. By the time
Wow.
he left to enter the National Football League, he was, hovering between 195, 198, somewhere along there.
Right.
And he was in that 4.4 to 4.5 range. So, I mean, that kind of, that right there kind of speaks to his work ethic. He's an extreme competitor. I mean, one of the best things that was for him is that he had Marquise Brown on the other side, and because those guys would compete with each other, not just during practice, but during games. I mean, if Key scored, then you're like, all right, it's I got to score,
Mm.
and that healthy competition and that healthy mentality of okay, I'm gonna do what I can to help the team win has always been his mentality. And CD played primarily on the outside in college, and you guys have covered this story and know it better than I do. Dallas wasn't looking for a receiver when they drafted him. I mean,
Right.
and when they brought him in, he really came in and played out of position and played in the slot. He's
Mm.
a football player that we were able to move him around a lot here, especially that last year that he was there at Oklahoma with us. So I mean, a lot of the things that from just a pure fan perspective, you don't really appreciate what he brought to the table when he came there.
Right.
So as he's now getting a chance to get into his own and really from a perimeter standpoint, a receiver standpoint, at that part of the team, get a chance to be like, okay, now I can showcase my full arsenal of talent that I possess. I mean, I think the sky's the limits for him.
Oh, that's some good points there, Coach. I was looking at CeeDee Lamb as being more dangerous with two-way goals from playing
Yeah.
from the inside. But by you telling me now that primarily majority of his snaps was on the outside, man,
Phew.
I'm so
Yeah,
far
that's
off
some
from it
news.
because
Yeah.
I look at CeeDee Lamb, his short area quickness. I don't see that top speed like you mentioned. Of course, that he got more and more talent now as far as his speed. But I do look at CeeDee Lamb as a dangerous weapon when getting the ball immediately. And we saw that in a few games, just like the Saints game last year. And of course, in some other games. And his unbelievable game was the Patriots game. I know you probably
Oh, he lit
rewind the
him up.
tape. And he went up against the number one wide receiver, number
A
one
corner.
DB,
Yeah, Jackson. He
JC
destroyed him.
Jackson. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you see from a coaching aspect, if you can say freely, that CD Lamb has improved on this offseason?
Well, this offseason, I haven't seen him. I hadn't seen a lot of his work. So, in just speaking with him, I know he's worked on, his release game, both from press and, loose off coverage there. So I know there's going to be some improvement there. Getting in and out of his breaks is something that he's always worked on. And then just the competitive catch aspect of it. The windows are
Mm-hmm.
not as open as long on that level as they are, say, in high school and or college. So I mean, those are some of those things that he's worked on, as well as you guys have seen if you've seen pictures of him lately. Obviously, the conditioning and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He working.
the added muscle that you're going to need being that feature guy.
Yeah.
So he's not one of those guys that is just hey, I hope for this to happen or wish for this happen. You know,
He was putting the
you
work.
you come in the league as a rookie and you go for 700 with the type of receivers that he had on the roster as a rookie. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're second, you're the third leading receiver on the team, and then you follow that back up. And mind you, this was coming off of COVID time too, so
Right.
you
True
follow
that.
that back up, with a regular season as your sophomore year in the league, and you go over 1,000 yards to make the Pro Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else really needs to be said or what else to tell you. I mean, how many rookies
Yeah.
doing that?
Not many.
Let me welcome to the show. I understand that I sent it to CD, and I understand in the chat group that he is watching. CD, brother, we love you here. If you are watching, thank you for. I knew you gonna come support your coach. You got friends right here. We love you, brother, and go ahead and tear it up this year, coach. Let me ask
Yeah,
you.
no doubt. Do your
Yeah.
thing, man.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I don't know if this is kind of going to kind of give an insight of what you guys are going to do at SC. But if you can, once you knew that CD was that guy, and I realized that you had plenty of other weapons. But how did you guys use him really at Oklahoma as like a chess piece? Because that's the talk that's going around now in Cowboy land. How are we going to use to get Tony Pollard and CD more explosive plays? How did you
Right.
guys game plan? Did y'all use him kind of like we're gonna line him up everywhere?
Yeah, we did. I mean, if you go back and you look at the film, I mean, you see them line up and on the outside on the right, you see them line up on the outside on the left, you see them line up in the slot on both of those sides. And
Mm-hmm.
we also lined them up in the backfield. I mean, there was things that we did with, motions pre-snap. There was things that we did with misdirection motions pre-snap. So I mean, when you get a guy like that that's so dynamic with this with after the catch, I mean, you figure out ways to create one-on-one matchups or just create space matchups. And the first guy ain't gonna tackle him, so you figure out ways that you can put him in some space and let him do his thing.
So
Yes,
keeping them
indeed.
stationary obviously is robbery to an offense.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, like I said, I'm not in Dallas meetings. Not
right.
in the game.
Go ahead, boss.
But I'm
Yeah,
sure, those guys spend umpteen hours, watching who they're going to play and figure out ways. So, the thing is, he's in a great spot right now where they'll be able to utilize him and be able to do some things with him, and he will make them right for doing it.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I just want to just ask you real quick, cause listen, I'm a defensive guy. I ain't gonna lie. And when you're a defensive guy, you really don't truly know the nuances of offensive philosophies. So I'm gonna lean on you, coach. All right, so get ready. So there's been a lot of talk about Mike McCarthy saying that CeeDee Lamb is going to specifically play like a Jerry Rice role, and specifically said the Z receiver in a West Coast style offense. What in the hell is Mike McCarthy talking about?
Man, I don't know, Mike, and I don't see that interview. I've done several interviews, and there's been things that I've said that has been kind of written not exactly the way I said it. So, I mean, I don't know the
Right.
context of the question that
Yeah.
was asked to him. So, in his defense, I mean, I don't really want a Monday morning that
Yeah,
thing.
the concepts. I was just hoping that some of those concepts kind of registered to you. Um, I
I
want
will
to
say
ask you,
this. I
yeah,
will say
please
this.
enlighten us, please.
A
Yes.
lot of times, especially in those type of interviews, because I know that there's several universities that I'm not going to name
Uh,
names.
Mm.
They will
uh,
take those interviews and pull out exactly. Oh, you gonna do this concept? Okay,
yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. I got
and
you. I
you as a
got you.
former defensive guy, I think you know
Right.
what direction I'm going with this statement.
Yes.
Yeah, and they'd
Yes.
be like, oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. Spin. I got you.
Yeah.
Um.
I gotta ask you something, but go ahead, boss. I see
Yeah.
you
I
right
do.
there.
I just got one
You
more
know me, I
point,
was
real
gonna jump
quick.
in there, but go ahead.
No. Hey, just real quick, because I want to just ask him real quick because he was almost a Dallas Cowboy coach. Let's be real now,
Oh
because
yeah.
the word was getting out there on Lincoln Riley with the Dallas Cowboys before Jerry killed it. So I was gonna ask you. I'm gonna put you on the spot now because I heard you said don't be easy on you. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh.
You are now the assistant head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. What are you gonna do with this offense? What's gonna be your offensive identity, and what are some of your offensive principles?
well, I mean, I think you go back to what you know best. I mean, if we were there, we would do a lot of the same things that you saw us do at our previous place at East Carolina, at Texas Tech, and that you'll see us do here at USC.
Okay, gotcha. That
Let,
was a
let,
good that was a good way to say nothing because I knew you wasn't gonna give away what you do.
oh no. Listen to me. And,
Yeah.
and when we hired Coach McCarthy, ain't no sense in me lying about it. I was cheering hard for Lincoln Riley to be there because if he would have been there,
Yeah.
Coach Simmons already know I would have been in Dallas every week. He's gonna drop off the team. Ain't no doubt about that. I was gonna be there. So I really,
Well,
happy for him.
you go 90% of the time anyway.
Hey, I'm
Ah,
trying, man. I'm just trying, man. I'm trying to get down there, but
I get you, but you would have had a place to stay, right?
Oh, ain't no doubt about it. I'd be right there in your house on the floor or
No
something.
That's
doubt.
dope.
Mm,
That's so
Nah, dog,
dope.
I wouldn't put you on the
Ain't no
floor.
doubt. Dennis,
mm.
let me say there's a lot of Kirby folks on here, man. So I know you're not seeing the chat, but it is a lot of people from our high school that are here. Just say hello to them. And just I see Cedric Morris and oh my goodness, Eddie Woods is here. It's just a
And
few
you know
people.
what? They had our reunion, I think, last weekend,
It was.
and we had camps last weekend, and this past weekend was our largest recruiting weekend uh, for the upcoming year. So I wasn't able to attend, and I hate that I wasn't able to attend because I mean, I say this and with all sincerity and love, like had it not been for my experience growing up in East Haven, going to Caperville, going to Kirby Middle, going to Kirby High, I mean, I would definitely not be where I am today. So, it hurt my heart that I wasn't able to get back just to see old friends. And I know it's been way too long since I've seen a lot of them, but trust me, everywhere I go, they go with me because they're always in my heart.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I know you've already kind of answered that question before, but let me ask you quickly about. I know you talked to him. I don't know if you've been working out with him or whatever, but talk about his blocking because that's going to be major for us this year as well. And when we think of CD, we think of his yards after the catch and how he catches the ball and his
Right.
punt returning and all that. But
Well, I mean,
one
I
of the
think that's the
things,
thing that separated him from the guys that was in that class, and why he was arguably, pre-draft one of the kids that they were talking about is, hey, okay, this is going to be the first receiver off the board because he is that. He is a true football player. I mean, and he's a true unselfish football player. I mean, okay, if I get the ball, yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to help my team. But if I don't have the ball and I got a block, I'm gonna do that too. If I got to run my guy off, so the ball carrier has a clear path and vision of where he should go, I'm gonna do that too. So I mean, like I said, all of those things for the average fan, you don't appreciate it
Mm-hmm.
as much because you tend to follow the ball and whoever has it, let me see what they do. But it takes 11 guys on the offensive side of the ball to have a successful play. I mean, that's one of the biggest differences, in my opinion, between offense and defense. Defense, only one guy theoretically has to make the tackle or needs to make the tackle. So I mean, you could play with 10 over there. You could get away with something and play with 9 over there. When you do it on the offensive side of the ball, usually something good does not happen. So I mean, that's just a true indication of who he was as a player when he was in college, and it's been it's whole held true thus far now that he's in the NFL.
Man, coach, you
yeah,
spoke the real on that one because as a wide receiver, there's no plays off. You want everything to look the same, especially getting off the LOS. And of course, you make most of your plays off ball. You got to make sure that you play through the echoes of the whistle. And I'm quite sure CD does all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and I never
it,
really heard somebody say that that's what separated him. That's the first time I
Hmm.
actually heard that.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't even break him down to that degree. I think I got caught in the sexy stuff. You know what I mean? But I
well,
didn't break down the little thing. I'm just being honest. I'm just being all the way honest.
Yeah.
a
Um,
lot of people do. A lot of
yeah,
people
yeah,
do,
I'm
and I
just being
Facts.
mean,
honest. I didn't break down the little
Yeah.
details of like how he blocked the running guys off. I didn't break him down to that degree. I appreciate that.
I mean,
Coach.
the complimentary routes that you have. I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
The clear
you
outs. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
you spoke about
yeah,
getting in the league. A handful of people have to touch the ball.
right, yeah, yeah,
So I
right.
mean, in order for that to work and be successful, they all have to be on the same page and want to play with each other.
Hmm.
And that's one of those things that your successful teams, all of the skill guys are playing for each other every play.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Coach, now I'm being selfish a little bit because it's not too many times that we get to talk to an assistant head coach at a powerhouse school that also coach for a lot of powerhouse schools, right? So whenever I get a chance to talk to a coach like you, I'm gonna try to learn some things from you. So my thing that I want to try to get from you is what are some of your, because I believe every head coach gonna have some offense or just coaching philosophies when it comes down to principles with leading men. What are some of your principles when it comes down to leading men?
Well, my first one is, and this is I think everybody should carry this in life. People are going to do as you do more so than what you say.
Right.
So, before I could ask them or hold them accountable for anything, I have to check myself and make sure I'm holding myself accountable for that, whatever it is, whether it's on or off the field. And I'm a big proponent of, life teaches you habits, and
Mm.
you live by those habits, and you stick to those habits. I mean, it's either or. Either you're gonna have winning behavior or you're gonna have default behavior.
Hmm.
So one of the standards and one of the things in my program is whatever we're gonna do to be successful, everybody's going to follow that. And I'm a big proponent of, really, I coach football, but I preach and I teach how to be successful in life because I
Mm.
feel like if you can do it in one area, then
Yeah.
you create that habit and it just transitions and carries over to everything else you choose to do in life.
Man, coach, that's a power bomb of the truth. A lot of people fail to realize football itself, there's a lot of integrity. What are you doing when no one else is watching? And especially on the defensive side, of course, I know you're on the offensive side, but if you have cutback responsibilities, you got to make sure that you don't play hero ball. And I'm
Right.
quite sure that there are principles put in place just like that into everyday lives, as it relates to also educating the youth that you at your stage right now can also push it out for the future. And I love that statement by you, coach.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
that.
you, coach.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Well, I don't want to do it because we talk. So I just wanted my
Bro, just
guy.
ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Man, look.
If
I'm
I don't want to
trying.
answer it, I'll tell you, hey, I can't answer
I know how we roll. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get you in new type of whatever. Let me just
Trust me,
say this.
you ain't got to worry about that one. Like I said, if I can't answer it, I don't want to answer. I'll just say, hey,
That's my guy. How? Well, let me just ask it this way. Um, in the passing game, because most all of us, Law and Boss, we're not too sold on Kellen Moore. I'm not 100%. We believe that he's a more passing coach than he is a running coach, obviously. But let me just ask you this, since I think that's the way it's gonna be anyway. Law, if you believe he gonna run the ball, it's just so be it. But I've seen enough. How important it is, Coach, to have control of the middle of the field. Uh, by the passing game. I mean, is it more important? Do you have to have that dude as a tight end in order to open everything up for the outside, or is it a matter of? I mean, I know it's because of philosophy, but how is it important to control the passing game in the middle of the field between the hashes?
I gotta be honest with you, man. I've never really looked at it as, hey, we need to control an area of the field. I mean, when we're kicking on all cylinders, we're we're making the defense account for all the spaces on the field. We're not necessarily saying, hey, we're just gonna focus in
Yeah.
on one particular area. And I think
Gotcha.
most successful offensive minded coaches egos are to the point where we're not trying to force players to fit the philosophy. We're
Oh,
taking the tools that we have
Hmm.
and working the philosophy
Yeah.
around what we have.
wow.
So I mean, if I have a dominant tight end, well, we're gonna create things that showcase and utilize the dominant tight end. If I have
Y'all
a
know
go
where I was
right,
going with that, don't
Yeah.
then we're gonna
you?
we're gonna take plays and do that. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and critique or judge Coach Moore because once again, I'm not sitting in those meetings. I don't.
Right,
There's always three sides to every story,
right.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not telling his, and you're hearing someone else's narrative. So the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't. I don't really buy into that philosophy. I'm like, if we're playing somebody, we want to make them account for the whole field, and
Right.
there's a variety of ways that you could set up and create things to make them answer for that, or have an answer for that, and prepare for that all week.
Yeah.
And if they do, then what's our answer for that? All
Gotcha.
right, then we may have to work this area of the field. So I mean, I never really look at it as, hey, we're going to do this, or we're going to be a dominant at this area. It's okay. We're going to practice on certain things. We're going to figure out what we can get good at and what we're really good at and what everybody can execute at, and then we're going to build from there.
Before they come back, law boss, we got a lot of people coming in. Let me introduce some of you to who our guest is tonight. This is Coach Dennis Simmons, the assistant coach, head coach. I'm sorry, the assistant head coach of the USC Trojans.
Yeah.
He previously was at the University of Oklahoma,
Yep.
and he coached our number one wide receiver all those years at Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. So I just figured that who knows him better than his coach, the one that recruited him, the one that coached him, and he'll just be able to give a little insight to Cowboy fans of what we really have at the number one. Okay, go ahead, boss.
Yeah. Now this is a question that you might dodge or you might answer. I don't think it's too controversial, but I want to kind of get some insight from somebody that's sitting in very, very privileged shoes. The fact that you are an assistant head coach and I play Division 1 ball, a lot of people don't believe that there are politics in football. They think that it's really truly a fair playing ground, which is not. It's politics in all sports. So like I want to ask you, how do you and Lincoln deal with some of the politics that can try to sneak into the game? For example, donors might prefer a certain player over the coaches, and how do y'all kind of fight through the messy side of football, which is politics, versus dealing with the players when you got to do what you got to do for the team? How do y'all navigate that maze?
I mean, I more with who your leadership is in your university and who your leadership is as your head coach. I'll be honest with you, we've never, and everywhere that I've been in my career, I've never encountered that where, you know, someone like that would question like who you're playing.
Right.
And our kids, our philosophy and our system. That I mean, our kids know because they get the results of what they're doing from, how many yards they ran, how many balls they caught, how many balls
Right.
that were thrown at them, how many balls they dropped, why they dropped it, how they dropped it, if it was a catchable ball. I mean, all of those things they see day in and day out when they walk into the meeting room right after practice. So I mean, when it comes to game time, I mean, they know, and you said yourself you play Division 1 ball. So I mean, after every practice, if you come into your meeting room, the first thing you see is your results from what you did. So
Right. Facts.
I stacked up against the guy that I'm competing against, and against the guy that lining up next to me. I mean, you see all of that. So I mean, there's no hiding that. So we never really run into those type of issues.
Play to win the game, man.
Go
That's
ahead,
what you got to
go ahead,
do.
law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That these guys should play to win the game, or coaches should coach these guys to win the game. This guy, CeeDee Lamb, he averaged 8.4 yards per tote last season, and his buddy Debo Samuels, they call it the wide back. Do you see CeeDee Lamb getting more touches in this particular system in the backfield? Do you see that, Coach?
Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. It wouldn't surprise me because football is such a copycat sport. It wouldn't
Mm,
surprise me if they don't.
facts.
If they didn't utilize it from time to time. But I do know just from past experiences when he was, in college. He had opportunities to do that a couple of times, and it was pretty successful. And I'm sure, knowing him, he's probably lobbying the coaches there to, hey, give me a shot to do it. But I don't, how far that conversation would go with them, and when it would happen. You know, I'll be honest with you. Sunday is one of our biggest work days, so I get to see bits and pieces or clips stuff. From his
Yeah.
previous game. Most of the time, my wife or my son is sending me, "Hey, TV did this," or occasionally he and I'll talk after his game, or he'll send me a clip. Hey, what you think about that, or things of that nature. But so I don't know exactly, from their standpoint of how they want to use them in their philosophy. I'm just as much of a fan as everyone else from that standpoint.
Wow.
That's good. That's a good
Coach,
point.
let me ask you this, because of course I've been following you for a while. Uh, at Oklahoma, we haven't seen you in USC yet, but we all know Lincoln Riley's an incredible play caller. Um, One thing that you guys were not known, at least for the first option, if I could say that, you guys were not known as a running team. You guys were, spread a lot. I'm not saying y'all didn't run, but you guys were known as that. Tell us how important the running game is to a predominantly passing offense.
Well, I mean, we did have Joe Mixon in the
Joe
backfield,
Mixon.
Yeah.
and he had over 1,000 yards. We had Samaje P. Ryan in the backfield. He had over 1,000 yards. Uh, and then we had Rodney Anderson in the backfield.
Yeah.
Y'all ran the ball.
We
Y'all
ran the
ran
ball
it.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, our we actually ran the ball more than we threw the ball. Now we had
Yeah.
explosive throws, but we
Hmm.
really did run the ball more than we threw it there. But I mean, that's one of the perceptions that
Yeah.
comes with this offense is like, okay, when you hit people with big shots down the field, the natural assumption is, oh, okay, well they're gonna spread you out and throw it all over the place. Which if you give us that opportunity, we will. But you know,
Hmm.
being a complete offense, we can line up, and there was a lot of 4-minute drives that we had to be successful and win games.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to lead into earlier. But your approach on cover four or quarters defense, would you try to throw out of that to get them out of that look, or would you just say, okay, if they giving us the underneath, we'll design and draw plays for that? What is your philosophy on that?
Well, I mean, if we're getting quarters the whole game, obviously you're gonna have some holes in the run
Hmm.
game to where you can expose some people. So I mean, if it's working and we're successful with it, we'll ride that wave until it falls.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
Coach, I heard you in one of your interviews actually talking about being creative to get your best players the ball in space. So obviously CeeDee Lamb is one of our best players in space, but then also Tony Pollard. So those are the two people in the offseason that's getting a lot of the hype, and there's a hunger to get those guys the ball. Just I know without kind of giving the secret sauce, what would you envision with a Tony Pollard just conceptually and a CeeDee Lamb in terms of getting those guys the ball in space?
Well, with Tony, you can line him up in the backfield. You can line him. You can motion him out to the slide. You can motion him out to the
Mhm.
to the outside if you want to really determine whether it's a man or zone coverage, depending on who they send out there with them. That could be one indication that you can utilize to get him in getting the ball in space. CD,
Mm.
you can pretty much line him up on either side of the ball in the slot or out on the perimeter and utilize motions or half motions and send him back as ways to create matchups and space to get him the ball. So I mean, like I said, man, those guys that are at the Cowboys on their coaching staff, they didn't wake up yesterday. So I mean, they
Yeah,
understand this, and
yeah,
they understand how to do it. So I mean, I have no concerns or worries whether or not
they get
they
the
can
ball.
create they can create ways for them to get the ball.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, Coach, do we got a little more time with you? Or you got to go.
No, you got me for a minute.
All right. Well, hey, we got you for a minute. That's good. Listen, I want to again thank you for giving us just this time. I hope you'll come back before, and I'm not putting you on the spot. Before you really get crunk up, because I know you won't have no time then. Maybe right around training camp. Hopefully, Cowboys training camp. Oh, but speaking of which, when do you guys start training camp? I'm sorry.
We will players will report, I think, on the second, and I believe we actually kick off on the fourth. And I may be
Okay.
off a day or two on that. But
Ooh.
we still got another session of camps, summer camp, high school camps to go this week, and then it's summer
Okay.
film and finding creative ways to become better here with our guys.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. That's good stuff.
All right. So look, just again, and just a recap for what I've been asking already, Coach. You guys at Oklahoma use CD pretty much kind of like a chess piece on a chessboard. Really, that's what it sounded like to me. Just to figure out how the defense is playing, formation wise. We heard something here today that we haven't really heard, and that coming from you, I'll take your word that you said he's better on the outside than he is pretty much on the inside. So that's real heavy. So I'm saying the best way to use CD is to line them up as a chess piece. I'm just let everybody know that.
Well, I would say this: the best way to utilize him is get the ball in his hands and
Yep.
Yeah.
let let it do what it do.
No,
He's
no
that
more,
great.
no more 5 targets in the playoff and only one
Please.
reception. No more of that, man. You got to give the ball to the playmaker, and I believe CeeDee Lamb is just that guy. And
Which he
I
showed you guys a little bit, if memory serves me correct, because there was a couple of there were several games where you had a receiver out where he played primary on the
right,
outside. So I mean
yeah,
and I think those games it was early on in the season. He had a couple of monster games where they did. I will say they were either in Seattle or out in San Diego. I know they were out on the West Coast one because it was early on in the season, and he was
And the
excited.
Charger game.
it was
The Charger
The
game. Yeah.
Chargers game.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean, he gave
yeah.
you a glimpse of what life would be like out there.
And I think if he were to finish that Chiefs game, he would have finished out pretty much good in that one. But he got knocked out of that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one where he fell on the back of his head or something.
fell in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Because he was the only receiver at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
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 Go ahead, boss. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say because I know we kind of conclude, and thank you so much, Coach. I think you added so much value to the football
Um,
nation and Dallas Cowboy Nation, who had some general questions about the up and coming season and the mentality of our players. We do know that you lost Drake London, so I want to kind of now we've been selfish. I'm going to turn it to you and talk about what's going to be your plans to kind of continue to take USC to the next level and to live that good privileged life that you live in of coaching football.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you hit the nail on the button right there. It is a blessing every day that I get to come to work and be able to be around such
Yeah,
elite
football.
proven
Mm.
athletes. Our goal here is obviously is to be the best at everything that has nothing to do with with wins and losses. And how we
Mm.
go about doing that is once again, making these guys understand that you're a unit and
Yeah,
you're accountable to each other. And kind of to piggyback off of the question that was asked earlier about my mindset or our mindset
philosophy.
as coaches, if we can get our kids to be accountable for each other and create quality good habits, then the football and everything else will fall into line.
That's what's up.
Yes,
gotcha.
indeed. I got a guy just keep asking me about Zachariah Branch. Is that a guy that you guys gonna have?
Uh, I can't answer that. I can't answer that question.
Yeah. All
Let
right.
them wait. Let them wait.
Let them wait. Yeah.
Coach, I'd be wrong if I didn't because you got a kid that's watching you. You know I'm going with. I'm trying to put him in your hands, but you got a few years ago, and that's Mr. Woods, Xavier. I'm saying Xavier Cobbs. I know you know he is. He's watching now. and he is flat out clowning. He's ranked here in Tennessee. He's jumped up to the number 2 receiver in the state of Tennessee. So, and he's a junior going in. Yeah,
Congratulations, man. Keep
he's
grinding.
clowning. Yeah, keep grinding. I know he's watching now, so I'm glad. I told him I would shout you out, and since you would be with us tonight on that, Coach, you know how I feel about you. Me and you go way back, man. I've known you for majority of my life, actually. I mean, good Lord. I mean, we started playing ball at I think 8, and I think you were 6, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But
Play for the Jets.
we played for the Jets, exactly. So, I love you, brother. No doubt about it. And you just don't know what this means to me to have somebody like you, because you're a big wheel. Ain't no doubt about it.
Big wheel.
Man.
You can try to be,
No, Coach.
honest,
You the big
honest
one,
all
Same
you
dude
want.
from 29.
Yeah, you the same
Yeah.
dude, but you
I
got
know.
man. Woo. We love it. Like we love seeing it, Coach.
We're talking to, whether you know it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this guy
Yeah.
will be an NFL coach.
Oh, wow.
Soon. It's just
At
a
some
matter
point.
of
Some
really
point.
he would have been one, but him and Lincoln,
Yeah.
they got
It's
like
gonna
Batman
happen.
and Robin.
You
They
right.
can't get rid of each other. So
It's gonna happen.
Thou shalt
he
decree a thing.
It's
Yeah.
gonna
so
happen.
And it
It's
shall
gonna
be
happen.
established.
Like
Yeah.
his name too hot.
yeah.
Y'all too attached. You know what I mean? It's one of those things to where eventually, because everybody know that y'all stick together because y'all trust each other. A
Right.
relationship since y'all was 19, that don't happen nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that we all can kind of see the writing on the wall, Coach. And I definitely privileged to have been honored, because it's really truly no telling what your future is.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But right now, I want to focus on just being the best version of me I can every day, and hopefully giving the guys a good example to follow, and watching and seeing where the future carries us. Like I said, it's a privilege for me to come to work every day, and so many people poured into my life, and I just want to pay it forward.
It's bright, Coach. It's
Law, you
bright.
got anything else before we let him go?
Man, Coach should have put those sunglasses on, man, because it's bright. His future is bright, man. Congratulations again, man. Being on that side of the world, too. The weather is nice, by the way.
Oh man, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
106 over here in Dallas.
Right. So,
I ain't
hey,
got to tell
man.
him about Memphis Heat. He already know.
He already know.
Ooh-wee.
Memphis
I remember
Tennessee.
that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
man.
definitely remember that.
Yes, indeed.
Coach.
Keep grinding,
Them
Coach, man.
August workouts, man. I definitely.
Oh, don't remind me of that, man. Coach, I love you, man, and thank you for being a friend to me. Thank you for being a friend to the Big Time Show, and I hope that you made a friend in Boss Cowboy Sports and Law Nation Sports. And man,
Appreciate
if
it.
you will, I know you're about to get busy, but come on back and hang with your boy one more time. And I appreciate you so much, man. You don't know how big this was for me. Thank you so much, man.
Man. Thank you for
Thank you.
having me. Nice meeting you two gentlemen.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Coach.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Good luck,
man.
Coach. I'm gonna let you go, man.
Enjoy, man.
I'll call you tomorrow sometime. Thank you again personally.
Oh, you good, baby. Bye,
All right,
Memphis.
Yes, indeed. Hey,
All
we're
right,
gonna send you
Memphis,
some players too, man. I got a whole gang of young youth players that want to get on to that next level, man. So,
Man, have talent. We will travel. So send it on.
I'm gonna let them know.
We need to link him up with Big Game James. That's on the cool.
Yeah,
Because Big Game James is
yeah.
talking to. That's on the cool. This is real talk, Coach. We got a guy that we do shows with on Tuesdays. That's all he's doing right now is talking to the top high school people in the country. So it's a lot of links that like Law Nation and he go keep his word on that.
Yes,
Don't worry
indeed.
about that.
Okay.
Then, Coach, I'm gonna send you these guys information, and that way you can fly following them. You kind of peep them out. You know what I'm saying? They good, Coach. Look, if they with me, they good.
They all good.
They all good. Ain't no doubt. Coach, I love you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging with
All
us.
right, I love you too. Tell your mom
All
I
right,
said hi.
I will, man. Thank you so
All right,
much.
brother.
Yes, indeed, man. That's good.
All right,
call.
man. Ooh, now let's go.
Come on, man. Come on,
Shoot,
man.
the water was warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he's Again, everybody, he gone now. I mean, but that
He
was the
gone.
coach. He gone now.
That
But
boy good.
yeah,
I
that was the
enjoyed that,
assistant.
man. I enjoyed that a
Yeah.
lot. First of all,
Yeah,
thank you
that was
for
the assistant head coach of the USC Trojans.
yeah,
The assistant head coach.
yeah.
Right.
That's super
If
big,
Lincoln goes down, he coaching the team, kind of like the way
right?
like
And
Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn step in. That's what he
yeah,
is to USC. He was that way in Oklahoma. He's
right.
in all the game planning. I didn't even get into that because we didn't want to talk about scheme, and some folks listening in. But this dude
Nah,
is
Yeah.
the truth. He's only 47 years old. To be that young and have that many credentials is
Yeah.
simply outstanding. I mean, for I'm sorry whoever's watching before, an African American coach to have that type of trust by no doubt probably one of the gurus of offensive play calling in Lincoln Riley, who was almost our head coach. This guy is the truth. So we were blessed tonight to have him just share with us about that. I'm appreciative to him because I know he's gonna be watching this a little later on. I'll talk to him a little bit later, but before we get into a little recap, thanks to Law and thanks to Boss because they did not have to join in. They could have let me do this by myself, but I wanted everybody to share in this because I know it was big. You see what I'm saying? Now, see, Mix, I'm a preacher actually. See, Nix, I see the comment there. I am an assistant pastor here in Memphis, so that's my little preacher voice. If that's what you want to say, so be it. I'm a Cowboy fan, but thank you guys for hanging with me. I just wanted to share that because I knew you guys have done shows on what we talked about, many shows, and to
Right.
hear it from his mouth because he talks to him, and CeeDee Lamb actually was watching this tonight.
That's good.
I saw that. So if he's still watching CD, God bless you, brother. Do what you got to do, man. Go and be a dog like everybody know that you are. Your coach loves you, as you already know, and we standing behind you. But what a pretty good show. Go ahead, Flaw.
well,
Talk to
yeah.
us.
Well, I just wanted to just kind of recap on some of the things that I kind of learned and confirmed is I want to get into the mentality of CeeDee Lamb because see that's what some people have been questioning, right? And so one of the things that I heard from Coach Dennis that I was actually researching him before we did the interview, and he was basically saying, and he said the same thing again, that you either have it in you or you don't,
I'm like,
and you born with it. And he
Yeah.
made a hellified case of who CeeDee Lamb is. The fact that he still knew that he walked in soaking wet 170 pounds and a 4'7" athlete and came out a 4'4" athlete, 4'5" athlete with more muscle, more tone, and doing all the little things. See, that's the type of inside information that you was able to get tonight from a coach
Yeah.
Dennis Simmons, to where I felt good about CeeDee Lamb taking the next step. I feel way better. Because the
way
one
better.
thing I also feel way better about is Coach Dennis didn't take no credit for CeeDee Lamb. Did you notice that?
I
When I
saw that.
asked him,
Yeah.
how did you develop him? You're like, huh? Develop. It's who he is. So, and he pushed that. Like, and he made sure that he didn't take an ounce of credit from the individual work that I knew number one puts in for himself and for the passion for the game. So that's one of the takeaways I got from this. I just wanted to kind of hear from y'all real quick what y'all got, but that's definitely
Man.
mine.
Shoot, just to echo that, when
Yeah,
he was talking about his competitive drive, his mindset of becoming better and better and
right.
elevating himself from one level to the next. And like you lamented, going from 174 to right now, he's close to
190.
200.
Yeah,
Yeah,
200
he
now.
close to
But he was
200
saying
now.
when he
Yeah,
graduated, he was 190. So he
right,
was talking about the 20 pounds
right,
a month he put on. I'm sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you
right,
can look
right,
at
right.
him now. He's
And, and,
huge
and
now.
that is determination.
Yeah, that's
That is
determination.
determination.
Yeah,
Yep. And that's one thing that you need to have on this particular sport. You got to look at it and say, oh, if this is the record, and I was going to tell Coach this too, I got this right here. I'm predicting that CeeDee Lamb
Yeah.
is going to get over 116 receptions. Do you remember this, Boss
Yes, I do.
Cowboy?
Wow.
I
And
remember
I
your
also
prediction,
said
dog.
that, hey, over 1,400 yards, and he's going for the juggler.
You said
He's
something about
going.
the touchdowns, though. That was
Oh,
the
yeah,
one.
that's what I'm saying. He's going for the juggler.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't
And
wait.
that is over 16 touchdowns. He's going for Desmond Bryant's record. Now, as we got the pastor here today,
Come
thou
on, Doc.
shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to speak this into an existence because therefore,
God.
when he get on to that playing field, when they start running his routes, they're going to say, man, look at CD burning it up. There's more than one of them out there. Boy, y'all ain't gonna like it out there because I'm telling you guys, when you have that determination and that mindset to really set things on fire, it don't matter who you throw off in there because CD got that mindset that he want to become the best and the greatest. So that's why he don't mind embracing the 88 because I'm quite sure that he was probably looking at that number 10 and he said in the interview that the playmaker called him and said, man, I would really want you to wear that 88. That's a lot of pressure on that boy's shoulder. So we'll see if he's gonna stand tall, and I believe he will.
My boy Special K say you talking that yoga flame, bro. I ain't got
Yeah,
my
yeah.
buttons over here, bro. I will hear you fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me say this. I really believe, football is not complicated. That's just the way I feel about it. If you have playmakers, put it in their hand. It's not
Yeah.
complicated. If you have your players, put it in their hand.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna say this. I believe that is going to happen this year because
Yeah.
it's jobs on the line, man.
Big facts.
I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel
Right.
that. And
Right.
when we start talking about McCarthy with a lot of people believe that the shadow of Peyton is over him.
Right.
You have more who a lot of people some are happy about him, then some are saying, he's not the number 2 offensive coordinator, all that kind of stuff. His job is on the line because of a new regime come in. He knows he's got to go. So
Yeah.
I really believe that they're going to make every attempt this year to make sure that the ball goes into the hands of CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. And what did Coach Simmons just say? It's simple. He said,
You
look, just put it in his hand. That's all you got to do.
get the playmakers the ball.
Put it in his hand. He going to
Yeah.
do what he got to do. So I really believe that I'm like Boss. I already knew it, but when in the hands of, as far as CeeDee Lamb goes, I am more confident after hearing what I heard tonight.
Yeah.
And it behooves the Cowboys to whoever is in the house, because I'm quite sure somebody from the Cowboys are gonna get this show here.
Yeah.
Please put the ball in these guys' hand, please, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not hard. It's really not.
But
Just
I'm gonna
take it.
be honest, Coach. This is one of the things that I'm getting ahead of one of the videos that I'm getting ready to do. But I'm gonna be honest. I think the ball is already all the way down the street. You know what I mean? I think the ball is already down there. I think they know that they needed to go away from the system philosophy. It's
Right.
been a lot of noise in the offseason from major powerful people, Hall of Famers, speaking against the system philosophy of Kellen Moore. And from what I'm hearing from Mike McCarthy talking about CeeDee Lamb playing a Z receiver similar to a Jerry Rice, I don't think there's no in between on that because I quoted him. And I know Coach Dennis was like, sometimes you can accidentally read in not between the lines correct. No, I quoted him. I think they already know that they made a mistake by not targeting Amari Cooper, and I think they're going to really try to make up for it through CeeDee Lamb. So CeeDee Lamb, at least next year, is not going to go through what Amari went through, where you had a star being treated like a role player. I think they're going to treat CeeDee Lamb and Pollard like the star. That is, I think, right now, the divide that has been handed over to Mike McCarthy against Kellen Moore. The only thing that can sabotage that would be Kellen Moore, because he still has the keys to the Lamborghini, right?
No
Even
doubt.
though the Lamborghini is Mike McCarthy's car, the person who drives it is Kellen Moore. But the overwhelming philosophy push from Mike McCarthy is clearly to get the balls in them playmaker hands.
Yeah.
No doubt, man, and that's a brilliant observation. Especially Mike McCarthy, he's validated to say that. Why? Because he was on that coaching staff with Jerry Rice at one point,
Right.
and he understand the nuances of getting the ball to the playmaker and understanding like what happened last year. 5 targets, 1 reception in the playoff for CeeDee Lamb. That's not something that you can pretty much go back to the drawing boards and say we did everything we did. We did everything we needed to win that game. Also, he coached up with Horn in the New Orleans Saints. What was that guy named? A wide receiver name? Horn, Joe Horn.
Joe Horn.
Y'all
Joe
remember
Horn.
Joe Horn? He coached with that guy. So I believe with Mike McCarthy, if he's saying that he looks at CeeDee Lamb as it relates to Jerry Rice, I don't want you guys to look at the high end of Jerry Rice, but just look at the philosophy of how
Right.
they attack with Jerry Rice.
philosophy.
Because a lot of people gonna say, oh, now he's Jerry Rice.
No, we're not saying that.
No, we're definitely not
No.
saying that. But Joe Horn, everybody in the chat said Joe Horn. Appreciate y'all, man. But I just look at it like this. I get it, right? The detractors would look at CeeDee Lamb, and the first thing they would say, look at what the other guys are doing to Justin Jefferson, or look at what Cooper Kupp done did, or what have you. Keep in mind, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, Cooper Kupp was developed to become Cooper Kupp. He wasn't Cooper Kupp of the Cooper Kupp that you think
Say
in
it.
his second year.
Say
There
it,
you
bro.
go.
Right,
Hey.
so give it time for CeeDee
time,
Lamb to develop, and for those who say, "Hey, you have a high drop ratio, what have you?" For CeeDee Lamb, he had 7 drops last season. Debo had 12 and 4 fumbles.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nobody don't
That's
talk
it.
about that though. Nobody
Nobody
don't talk about that. No, they don't talk about that.
Oh, I got you. I got you right here.
No. Listen, man. Listen, it's just amazing to think about what the possibilities, I guess, of what.
Right.
As much as we kill more, and I've been on my show, I've been killing them. But at the same time, some stats cannot be denied. Since he's been offensive coordinator, he has been in the top 3 ever since he kind of took the job. He knows how to move the ball. It's no question. I give him credit for that. It's the red zone that I've always said he has a problem with. He's not as effective. The question is going to be, I've always said, from the 20, our 20 to the opposing team's 20, there's not too many better than Kellen Moore. He can move the ball. It's inside the 20 where we scratch our heads, say, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this year, if they do what Coach Simmons, Lincoln Riley did with CeeDee, not only CeeDee, Tony Pollard, if they move them around and just don't keep them stationary, it's almost mind-boggling what can happen. We ain't even talked about Gallup coming back yet, but when that happens, I mean, it's just too much for a defense to deal with if they are properly put in the right places. I just think that because jobs are on the line, I'll say it again, I really do believe that we're going to see a lot of different stuff this year. Pre-snap motion, Pollard line up in the backfield, motion out, Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, motion out. I think the possibilities are endless of what's going to happen. I just hope that they do it. If they do, we're gonna be up there again in every offensive category that we can think about. So I just hope that they do like Lincoln Riley did. Lincoln moved everybody. I mean, we saw that if you football.
But you know what happened though, right? With Kellen Moore. This is the analogy that I've been using for a long time, and those who following me, they know what I'm about to say. That new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get those corners.
Yes, sir.
And I believe what's happening when we get close to that red zone, money zone, green zone, that those corners is where he's having troubles at. Everything condenses as it relates to play calling. The field is shorter, and Kellen Moore begins to become a statue at that point and not developing and drawing up the best plays that can work. That's why he was ranked 23rd in the National Football League as it relates to red zone. Number one in total offense. Number one in points. But 20. Look at. I can feel it a little bit if it was 13. But 23 in red zone. Look, he gonna have to work on that, and hopefully, going into his 4th year, he become an old broom. And he can get some of those corners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, boss.
Well, see, the thing with Kellen Moore is, we all get the optimism from him having assessed between the 20s.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, he's also still a growing OC. But the problem is he's a growing OC with an impatient fan base. So we expect you to be grown even when you're growing. We treated Dak like that. We didn't care that Dak was no rookie. We didn't care. We was like, listen, throw in Romo because he grown. That's what a lot of people were saying, right? Even you see what I'm saying? It was the fact that they trusted the maturity of Romo.
Yeah.
But they was like, we don't want a kid trying to get us to the Super Bowl, even though the team believed in Dak. So it's one of those things to where all of us are in the conundrum, right? Because we want his head, but what if he is what if he is the next great OC that needed to cook, right? And let's be honest, a lot of us threw Anthony Brown away. We did. I know I did. I was ready to throw him all the way in the trash. But over time, he really did become a really good corner as of last year. Like, I still want to see it again. But let me just say this. What if Kellen Moore is Lane Kiffin? What if? Because I know me and Coach Marv talk about this all the time, how at one time Lane was super pass happy and he developed balance. Like, we are still dealing with a developing OC, and it's just a conundrum. I don't know how we go deal with it.
Yeah, you just said the key factor, boss. He's a growing offensive coordinator with a very impatient fan base.
Yep.
And that impatient fan base, if they do not do what they're supposed to do, I got a feeling they will not make it to next year.
Right.
And so that's.
I don't know about Kelly.
Well, here's the thing.
Kelly might be all right.
It may be. Jerry Wayne Jones may say, see, y'all got rid of my son. Now this is my grandson. Let them wait. Now that's why a third of the fan base were like, hey, if we are going to sit here and grow another coach, let it be Lincoln Riley. Let it be a whole new tree. Let it be a situation where as you bring him in, and you heard what Coach said, they did get a chance to get 1,000 yards off of Joe Mixon and it's Samadre P-Rod. So, hey, there could be a situation where it's the Cowboys. Can you imagine with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard under Lincoln's system, and as well as CeeDee Lamb? And if you still incorporate or include Dan Quinn, that could have been the magical recipe. Who knows? But that's a story of a different day. We got to roll with Mike McCarthy. I'm starting to believe, and hear me out, everybody that's listening, I'm sold on Mike McCarthy right now.
Me too.
Why? Want to know why?
Talk.
Y'all want to know why?
Yes,
I know you're shaking your head.
No,
Come on. Look, come on. Pick that head up.
Because I want to see this fight. Big Time Show versus Law Nation. Because I'm so with you, Law. We would jump Big Time Show on this show, on this platform.
But here's why. 6-10 his first year, 12-5 his second year. His back is against the wall. He can't literally snatched the playbook from the grandson of Jerry Jones. He can't. He had to sit there and watch this dude burn down the kitchen. Hear me out before you don't shank me with the butter knife, people. But here's the thing. Hear me out.
I'm
His
listening.
second year, he was 12-5. Now going into his third year, we already hear news and noise that they practicing too tough, and he get fined. He get fined, not Jerry Jones. He get fined $100,000.
$100K.
When have Jason Garrett got fined $100,000 for practicing too tough? Come on, man. I like this Mike McCarthy, man.
Me too, man.
Look, man.
Start the fight, because I'm
Enough.
Come on.
Enough.
I want to see this fight. What you got on that big?
Brother, I love you and enjoy what you do. But did not Mike McCarthy say this last year? He said, whoever installs the play
Calls it.
during the week calls the plays,
Big fact.
which essentially means that he does not have anything to do with the offensive game planning and play calling on Sundays. That's his philosophy. Now, if that is the case, and you know that is the case because he believes in running the football. Why he entered? Oh, no, I really understand the wide receiver set, but when there was a need to run the football, why did he not say, "Hey, let's go ahead and change this thing up"? That's because he could not, because of the rules that. So essentially, when he got hired here, he was able to go ahead and hire his whole coaching staff, except one person who was essentially put on him, and he did not have a chance. So he don't have nothing to do with this offense as far as I'm concerned. Of course, I'm not there in the game meetings. I don't know about the game planning, but I'm really seeing the same thing for next year. Now, I don't know what he's done in the offseason, but he really does not have – you're taking away his best attribute. His best attribute was an offensive coordinator. That's his best attribute. And he's not even doing that. So,
And I see what you're saying.
I see what he's saying.
I do know that there's at least pressure. Can we at least say that it's at least pressure? So that's where it's different than last year. Because what was they also saying last year? Kellen Moore's a genius. Kellen Moore's the next great head coach. Kellen Moore could do no wrong. Why do we even need Mike McCarthy? So Mike McCarthy stepped back.
There you go.
He stepped back, and it was like, okay, that's y'all man.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't even think it was just messy or self-preservation. I think it's truly his philosophy that, listen, I want my OC to succeed. So the way that because he treated Dan Quinn the same way, though. Like he said, if you call it, you install it. I mean, if you install it, you call it. But nobody had no problem with Dan Quinn, right? It was the fact that he's developing the young Kellen Moore. And like we do our kids, what do we do with our kids? We let them hit their head sometime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think he let Kellen Moore hit his head. He sat back and watched him. Yeah. And was like, okay, son, are you ready to learn? Real classic philosophy. And now that we are in 2022, we're hearing the pressure of Mike McCarthy's true philosophies. Like, we have never heard them talk matchup football until this year. This is the first time that they talked about matchup football. True. The previous years has been all system. When the guys do what they're supposed to do, when the guys have good practices, that's how Kellen Moore talks. Now go listen to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is on, we trying to use CeeDee Lamb as the Jerry Rice, and we trying to create matchups. So there is a fight between them two. My only hope is that Mike McCarthy wins this fight and hasn't been unsullied to the point to where even though he has the right vision, he doesn't have the empowerment to implement.
Right. He ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice, Lo.
Yeah. And if he were to snatch the playbook last year away from Kellen
it wouldn't have worked, dog.
He would have took all of his leverage.
Yeah.
It would have took his leverage away.
Man, you got a button for that,
bro? That's all I got. Is this one right here?
Oh man, that's good enough.
Fatality.
Say that again. It would have took his leverage.
He took his
Facts.
leverage, man. You know, so and this is a stubborn general manager owner, right? So what he believes that, hey, look, like you laid it out real easily. Look, you can bring in whoever you want, but that one right there, that one's mine.
Right.
Oh, he finna go to Boise? Nah.
No,
That one right there,
That's
mine.
mine.
Hey, he finna
put-
go to
I'm gonna put some
Miami?
more money. I'm gonna put some more money in
Right.
his pocket to
Yeah.
make sure he stay. Go ahead.
That one's there. Mine's. That's my grandson. You know, so that's just what it is, man. I hope that this season that we don't look like we're not prepared. You know, I tell people all the time that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. And the Cowboys, as an organization, going into that playoff, we can clearly see that they were not prepared. Some of my warts with Mike McCarthy, because I don't think that he can walk on water, by the way, Cowboy
Right.
Nation.
Yeah, he got some
is
issues. Clock
preparation,
management.
clock management, right?
And
Just
can I
being
add
prepared.
one to it? Just one
Go
more
ahead.
to it before you finish, real quick. Also, the motivation. He struggled with that with Green Bay. The emotional side of a team. Like he don't
Yeah.
like unless he's smashing watermelons. What other ways do you get your guys inspired to play?
He lost
Go
a
ahead,
little
I'm
bit
sorry,
of that
Law.
locker room. He lost a
Yeah.
little bit of that locker room in Green Bay. He did. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, he did. He did lost
No
the
doubt
locker
about it.
room in Green Bay with that. You
Tell
know,
him.
hey. Yeah. So I just look
I
at
don't
it
know how
like
much
this,
time-
Cowboy Nation. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right,
bro.
we
I'm sorry.
lost you. No, my bad.
Go
No,
ahead.
I was running over your feet.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go
no.
ahead. You
Well,
got
I
it.
was just going to say is that, you know, motivation comes in multiple ways, and that's just not his cup of tea. I just don't believe. Even Jason Garrett can give a motivational speech about a Navy SEAL, you know, and everybody be like glued to the seat a little bit and falling off, sleeping. But here's the thing: motivational speaking for Mike McCarthy, I just don't think that that's his cup of tea.
Right.
Let Dan Quinn do that part of it.
Or players, right? You
Or
can
players.
also
Yeah.
you could assign players kind of like, and this is the idea that I was talking about after the Denver game. Is who are the guys that's going to get that whole sideline going when it's flat, which happens, right? Like, because Coach Simmons said something. He said the number one philosophy that I have is I first got to be the example before I expect the example. That's what he said,
Yeah.
right? So who are the guys that? Because I can't see Zeke head down and Dak head down when it's
Right.
bad and Tank head down. Like, who are going to assign these guys and say, all right, when we see that sideline flat, it ain't on me because that ain't my thing. I mean, like, my name Mike McCarthy, and I really can't really do all that. But the guys who are the vocal leaders, like, it got to be something other than we can't do nothing.
Parsons. It's Parsons.
Parsons a good one, yeah.
When I listened to Parsons' interview, and he literally said last year he saw some flaws on this team, but by it being that he was the rookie, he couldn't speak up or speak out on certain things. But he said now this year, that mouth is unmuffled. And yeah, Curse, the green dot guy, I think Parsons, Curse, and it got to be somebody on that offense. Got to be somebody.
Yeah.
Got to be somebody. I don't know who's on that
Zeke.
offense. Dak is that dude that gives the opening speech, but dog,
I think Zeke could be good.
I don't think it's Zeke because he had it and Roger Goodell snatched it from him.
Gentlemen, it might be Lamb. He knows he has to step up this year. In
It
every
could be
facet.
Lamb.
It could be.
You know, I'm saying in every facet, as far as leadership, he is the guy as wide receiver now. So he is the leader of that wide receiver room. You know, I just feel like he's going to be that more of a vocal leader. That's his personality anyway. I think we kind of heard that, you know, from Coach tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if he bring that dog.
Yeah, because CeeDee Lamb be
outfit.
talking that cash.
Yeah, he been talking.
Yeah, he talk more
I
trash.
forget how he did Parsons. Like, people gotta remember how he did Parsons.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the show that they did?
That when they were the 70, when they were
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah.
What was it,
Hard
bro?
Knocks.
Hard
That
knocks.
dude,
Yeah.
that dude told Parsons in his face, I was looking at you and you were scared.
Yeah. Talk much
You got
trash.
to keep it up. You
Yeah,
got to keep it up.
yeah. See, because he don't look like a dog. That's
But he
what
a
kind of be
dog.
pissing me off. I'll be honest. It's people that ain't dogs try to say he ain't no. I was like, bro, you are not
He
no
a
dog.
dog.
Listen, you a cat. So a cat can't say what a dog is, all right? Like a dog know a dog. You know what I mean? And he just
But
not the type of dog. See, because when people say dog, they think it's only one type of dog. You got to be Des Bryant. That's the only dog they know. It's super dog, alpha dog, atomic dog. You know what I mean? Omega dog. No, it's other types of dogs. It's that get
yeah,
you going, but they get you going in their style.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No
man.
doubt
Oh
about it.
my gosh, man.
Man, this was fun, man. I don't mean to cut y'all off. Unless y'all want to keep talking, I don't mind. But I enjoyed tonight. Coach Simmons, if you're watching or you watch his replay, thank you again. Just for giving us a little of your time, and we appreciate it so much. Personally, I'd like to thank Boss, of course, and Law Nation, two
Appreciate
of
it, man.
the hottest podcasters in this country. Actually, many of you on here. You guys know what they bring to the table. I'm just glad that they allow little old me to host this show and bring, let me hang with them for this time. This won't be the last time that I will be with Coach Simmons. And when he comes, I'm going to make sure that I bring these two brothers here with me again, because a lot of the things that we asked are a lot of the shows that they have done. And so it's just easy to go ahead and just bring up those questions again to one that knows, one that's knowledgeable, one that has had his hands on CD. And that major question that most Cowboy Nation has is CD or number one? Well,
Yeah.
I hope
We
that you have heard from a person that knows him best.
knows him
Uh,
personally.
yeah, personally, we hope that that question has been at least reduced. If you're one of the ones that say no, hopefully you've
Yeah.
been your mind has changed tonight because of what you heard on tonight. I'm good. Hey, Coach Marv is on here. I would do some call-ins, but I ain't doing no call-ins tonight. Y'all got to catch me on my show when I do it on this Saturday. Of course, tomorrow night, you guys should know by now that Boss, Law, OC, and Big Game James are probably going to do the last word. You guys go ahead and hang with them. If y'all, it's plenty more to come. It's plenty more. That's plenty mo apostrophe. Plenty more to come. So you guys, maybe they'll talk about this tonight. And of course they'll have their own show. But I thank you brothers for just giving me hanging with me on tonight, because I didn't want to do this one by myself. I could have, but I figured that you guys have worked pretty much, and I just know you guys would have benefited to the show. And look, right now on my count, we got 330 people that's still here that's looking. So with the Cowboy Nation was in the house. You heard it here first. Let's go ahead and get a little confidence going. I believe we can after the
Yeah.
night. How about y'all?
Oh yeah.
Y'all go
Oh
ahead
yeah.
and say your final word if y'all let me use y'all monitor. Go ahead.
Well,
Let's
man,
rock.
you know what? I didn't like this at all, everyone. I absolutely love this moment, man. And this is what the Cowboys communities is all about, is being able to share our independent mindset, our independent thoughts, and combine it together and spit it out to the Mecca about this team and what we're going to do for the future. And I cannot believe that some of you guys are sitting here not hitting that like button or sharing this
Straight up, man.
content. Man, if you sitting here watching and you have not hit that like button nor
Something wrong.
share this content, man, what's wrong with you
Shame.
guys? Because we got
Shame.
the man, the
Shame.
coach, the mindset that helped create this whole opportunity with us with CeeDee Lamb, and I can't wait to see CeeDee Lamb going into his third year. People judging CeeDee Lamb like he's been in a 6-year wide receiver, right? They do the same to T Diggs too, right? You know, they judge these guys on such a high pedestal or a high level, but I'm quite sure that CeeDee Lamb is willing to eat, and I can't wait, man. I really appreciate you, big time show, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Go ahead, boss.
Anytime.
Yeah, my final word is obviously thank you for trusting me and trusting Law to be good stewards of this interview, because obviously that's a big interview. That's not a small guy. That's an up and coming guy, assistant head coach, and been basically could have literally been, if Lincoln Riley would have been taken seriously for the Dallas Cowboys, we could have been talking to the assistant head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
That's how up and coming this guy is. And I think we gained a lot from this show. We gained a lot about CeeDee Lamb. We gained a lot about philosophies and playing the politics and just different things that people want to know. Potential usage of Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, matchup philosophy. If you haven't watched this show, rewind it and watch it. It's a good one. You can definitely follow me at Boss Cowboy Sports and Law Nation and the Big Time Show. Follow us all. Don't walk out that door without hitting a like. That is very rude. Also share this content, because this one answered a lot of questions, and I want people to have their questions answered going into the off season. My last thing that I will say is, yeah, we are having a final word tomorrow. We're going to be doing a show on the potential breakout players, and we go all have our own individual breakout players, and start making predictions as we get ready for training camp, and start putting the final touches in the preparations for training camp. So thank you, Douglas. Thank you for obviously trusting me and Law, and then let's go Cowboys DC4L.
All right. Most of you guys know, most of you guys are already following Boston Cowboys. Some of you don't even know who I am, but it's simple. It's there on the ticker for you. Follow me on Facebook, The Big Time Show, and then the YouTube channel is The Big Time Show Podcast. Just find the videos with my face. Just go ahead and subscribe to that. We all in the same arena. These are my brothers. I follow the both of them. Enjoy what they do. They're great at what they do. I'm just grateful to just to add my little 2 cents in. Hang with them. So I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Coach Simmons will be with us again. And we'll see what he has to offer. Hopefully we can get him again before training camp.
Man.
And it would be awesome, and then we can go a little bit more in depth. As you can see, he came in ready. He wanted to answer questions. He didn't shy away from too many of them. So that shows trust. And so we gained a friend tonight. Boss Cowboy gained another friend. Law Nation, we gained another friend. So we're going to use this, and we'll do this again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure that you follow these guys on tomorrow night for the final word with OC and Big Game James. If you want to hang with me, I'll be back on probably this Saturday. I need a little space. I'm in my doctorals class. I'm trying to finish up my degree, so I'm trying. I ain't got time to really play, but I'll be with you guys on Saturday at 3:00 Central Time. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all better follow me, because y'all see I ain't playing around with y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Boss Law, stay with me just for a second if you can. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is, as I always say, the Big Time Show. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Let me get y'all off real quick. That's all I wanted to say. They still here with us. Something wrong. My thing buffering. But thank you, brothers. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging with me.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
doubt,
I
man.
was like, man, we still
I'm
live?
jamming. You know,
Yeah,
I
I know
like
we
that
live. I
jazz,
just
That
man.
jazz,
That jazz
we
had
out.
me.
man, just
You know, I'm still rocking with it,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? Well, I'm telling you, I was
And
doing the
hitting that
same
key.
thing.
Y'all
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, man, that
All right, but I
jazz, bro.
appreciate you guys. I thought I can get them off, but something happened here. But I appreciate you guys. I'll get in contact with you again. Appreciate y'all.
okay.